What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/IDontWorkHereLady. Alright, this story's called My Supermarket I Don't Work Here Lady Game, or Playing with Pokey People, a Sparky's Tale. The tale isn't too long, all the other faff is. Words in the glossary will be marked with an asterisk. Alright, so here's me, a contracting electrician, dresses in high visibility long dark blue trousers, high visibility blue and bright yellow long sleeved work shirt. Company logo on left breast pocket, both of these have the shiny reflective strips. Dark brown work boots with blue PVC glue on them, because glue. Also, I have my hard hat clipped to my belt. I live in a small-ish rural town in Australia, the kind where everyone seems to know everyone. It can take 40 minutes just to buy milk because of all the oops eye contact socializing. I've been fixing all manner of equipment at this store for a while and get along with mostly everyone, but not produce czar Steve. It happened again. Tuesday after work, I got a pokey. I was at the supermarket looking at jam, holding and contemplating a jar of IXL raspberry in my left hand and an IXL strawberry in my right. I heard the all too familiar behind me. "Where is the sugar?" I ignore her. Without an excuse me, she could be talking to anyone. Outwardly, I must seem to be daydreaming, but jam is no joke. This is a week-long commitment, and it cannot be rushed. Jam people will understand. I receive a poke to my back, signifying that the pokey game has begun, followed by, "I said, where is the sugar?" Still striving for a jam resolution. Aisle 17, halfway down third shelf. Pokey wanders off. All pokies 100% never think. Ever. About 2 minutes later, while I'm feeling guilty for glancing at the Beerenberg plum, I receive a much firmer poke in the back, followed by, "There is no aisle 17. Still looking at jams, the Beerenberg knows I've glanced now. It knows it's a contender. "I'm sorry, madam, I misspoke. Aisle 7, halfway down third shelf." She again wanders off, a little stompy now. About 5 minutes later, holding the winner, I'm a little further down the aisle looking at the ingredients on a new breakfast cereal. From the end of the aisle, I hear, pokey raised voice exclamation. I imagine that The Ride of the Valkyries is playing in her head. "There he is!" Putting the cereal back and turning, I see Pokey heading toward me, followed by store manager Brad. Pokey, older than me lady, standing, pointing, glaring, vengeful eyes. "Ice! He sent me to the wrong aisle twice! I want him reprimanded!" Brad, arms crossed, also glaring at me. "This is not one of my staff, madam. Is there anything else I can help you with?" After a couple quiet moments, Pokey demands sugar and Brad escorts her. I head to Brad's office, where a few minutes later, Brad, tired and exasperated like all supermarket store managers ever, "Could you at least do this on my day off?" "Mate, you know the deal. I stop when the planogram stops changing. That replacement touchscreen for Convection Oven 2 should be here tomorrow. I'll see you then. Hey." As I'm walking out, I hear Brad say, "Standard chimes for the end of Cook this time." I'm smiling because I already know I'm going to set it as the 16-bit theme song from the Twilight Zone TV show. It's one of the selections in the installer menu. The other oven already has 16-bit Imperial March because of course it does. No, seriously, they do. Brad gets to pick when the planogram stops. Thank you for reading. And then, let's read this glossary, why not? Glue. Glue of any variety has no master and doesn't obey the natural laws. Beware of glue. PVC glue for electrical conduits will always end up on your boots. Just accept it. Jam. Typically a fruit conserve. What some less discerning call jelly. Jelly is made of a gelatin base, is wobbly, and your grandma will put fruit in it. If it's a special occasion, you may get trifle. Hard hat. You lift the brim of a hard hat to gaze at the newest idiocy on a job site. My hard hat has the slickest, sickest stickers. I love assonance. I excel in Beerenberg. I excel fruit conserve, I don't know, is the best jam on the planet. This is my hill. Beerenberg is second. Beerenberg plum on peanut butter toast is amazing. The Ride of the Valkyries. Won by Wagner in Apocalypse Now when they're dropping napalm on everything. Good film. Jet Bartlett is in it. Planogram. Every efficient shopper's nemesis. This is the plan for a store where products are supposed to be put. The store changes this all the time based on how much kickback a manufacturer gives them for a prominent placement of their products. Sometimes they swap whole aisles around. You go in to get jam one day, and now that aisle is health foods. Changing the planogram was invented by Satan. The Twilight Zone. Rod Serling's The Twilight Zone. A black and white TV show from a million years ago. You like X-Files? Stranger Things? Go find and watch the OG of the genre. The tale is over. The rest is just my idiocy. Read or don't, all good. The Poke Game. I've said this before. High-vis clothing is mercurial. You are both invisible, a personal assistant, and a corporeal Google. I've lost count the number of times I've been politely and rudely approached for information and/or assistance. Polite has always gotten all the friendly help I can muster. Over the years, I used to engage with the rude. I tried reasoning with the rude, seeking to understand the why of the rudeness. I tried giving the rude the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they'd had a bad day, gotten some bad news. Maybe. I tried remonstrating with the rude in an attempt to bring enlightenment and humility. Having done work in police stations and courthouses, I knew that cells had no Wi-Fi access, so I stopped getting all up in their grill. I learned that sometimes rude is just rude, so I started playing with the rude. Here are the rules for the time being. 1. All rude gets ignored. This is not to bait into escalation. Most times, rude just goes away, which is fine. Actually, I'm not sure if it isn't with the hope of baiting, so I can play. It's probably baiting. Hey. 2. All pokies must be played with, regardless of venue or personal time constraints. See below for examples based on venue. 3. Must be dressed in high vis. Playing the Poke Game in casual dress is like low-hanging fruit, because what if I was dressed similarly to the store staff without realizing it? I started to bring the hard hat to the supermarket because it was happening so much there. I wanted an extra difficulty for more points. There is no point system. 4. Must be pleasant and polite. Cells have no Wi-Fi. 5. Extra points if a Poke comes back more than twice. Sent a guy to 3 different aisles once. 3 is the most so far. Venues. Service or gas stations. These are mostly for directions. Mostly by caravaneers, I don't know. So, of course, they get the wrong directions. If asking to borrow tools for my work vehicle, I walk over to the vehicle and drive off. Hospital. Non-staff cannot be played with. They may be in need of medical attention, bereaving, worried, etc. That'd just be mean. Staff gets played with. I stand there ignoring them and see just how committed to the poking they are. Twice poked is the most so far. I put them on my list for further attention by other means. General public areas, same as service or gas stations. Supermarkets, the main venue for games. Where is gets the treatment in the tail. If they come back for seconds, they've had to walk past other people to arrive back to me. They are more than fair game. Maybe it's like that joke where the bear says to the hunter, "You don't come here to hunt, do you?" Get me? Something off a high shelf. Readers 6 feet and over will attest. When out in the wild, you are, by default, a common use implement. For these rudes, I keep grabbing the wrong items and try to give it to them, without speaking. I still wonder what some people must have gone through in their life to be at the point where poking others is acceptable. I feel kinda bad for them, just not bad enough to stop playing. Oh yeah, IXL Raspberry. Now I want to try that stuff. This guy is hyping it up. But also, I appreciate how he treats these Karens and whatnot. It's pretty high-level stuff. Alright, this story's called I Don't Serve Coffee and You're Paying for the Laptop. Obligatory disclaimers on mobile non-English speaker didn't happen in the US. This happened back in 2013. The Nursing Council in my country organizes an annual 3-day convention in order to keep us updated to new developments about our profession. It's not mandatory, but it gathers a lot of people for 2 reasons. You can present a paper or research you worked and be considered published, and 2, because they do it in a different city every year, it's a good way for a vacation, and usually takes place around the middle of May. Important information. Tourist season in my country begins in April. For about 2 years, the nurses in the company I worked for had combined forces to write a paper about training and educating patients. I was the unlucky sod that had to do the presentation. We apply and they give us a spot early on the first day. The convention is held in a very touristy city in a 5-star hotel. I'm staying in another cheaper, like €100 per night cheaper, hotel. I go in wearing my dark blue business suit and tie, carrying my laptop. I do the presentation, everything goes well, and afterwards, I find a classmate of mine from nursing school and decided to grab a coffee. Because she wants to catch a presentation later on, we decided to not leave the hotel and go to the patio where they had a cafe. We're on the patio catching up and enjoying our coffee and the sun and generally having a good time. The patio was almost full at that point, mostly with student nurses and people from the convention. The cafe staff is busy with all the people there. At some point, my friend excuses herself to the bathroom and I check my phone. Suddenly, I feel someone looming over me, and then I hear a high-pitched, "Excuse me!" I turn my head to see a slightly pissed woman staring daggers at me. She looks like the prototypical Karen. The haircut, the expensive clothes that look cheap, and the attitude. "Me and my friends are waiting for someone to take our order for 5 minutes." She pointed a couple of tables over where a couple of women in the same subcategory are sitting. "So?" I asked, confused. "So get off your break and come take our order." "I don't think so. You have to wait for one of the servers. I don't work for the Karen, leaning towards and getting in my face. "Listen up, you peon. We are paying customers and you're going to do as you're told. Break is over." And with that, she sweeps her arm on the table, spilling the coffees and glasses of water on me, but mostly on the laptop I had next to the table. At that point, I'm furious. I get up and there is a noticeable size difference. I'm 6'4", 225 pounds. She is maybe 5'6" on 3-inch heels. "Listen up, you little bimbo. I don't work here. And even if I did, I wouldn't serve people with your attitude. And if something happened to the laptop, you're paying for it." "You dare to threaten me? Me? Do you know who I am?" "No, and I don't give a crap. You're just an entitled bimbo." At that point, a lot of people were looking at us, and a server was coming over. The servers were dressed in black pants, white shirt, and a black apron, and Karen decided to try to slap me. I caught her hand as the server came next to us. "What is happening here?" "Your colleague is refusing to take our order and is threatening me." Server taking a look at me. "Madam, this man doesn't work here. He's a customer." Apparently, her little brain couldn't compute because she continued foaming until a manager and security appeared. When the manager asked what happened, I replied, "This woman insulted me, deliberately dropped coffee on me and my personal belongings, and tried to attack me. I would like to press charges." The implication of getting the police involved led to another rant by Karen. How it was discriminating against foreign tourists and she would sue me and the hotel, and how we should respect our betters. You know, lovely stuff. The aftermath was that I pressed charges and Karen was kicked out of the hotel. I don't know what happened to the rest of her clique. The laptop was ruined, the bag zipper was slightly open, and all the coffee poured directly on the laptop. The hotel offered me a full paid weekend reservation at the time of my choosing, and about a year later, I received a hefty settlement for the incident, about 3,500 euros. Oh my gosh. Well, it took a minute for the settlement, but yeesh, you could buy like 3 decent laptops for that much money. You know what, let's say 2. Alright, this story's called You're One of Them Immigrants. Quick one here, just heard this from my wife who just got back home from a popular hardware store that rhymes with Dome Repo. Also, quick background, my wife is a New Zealand expat with a fairly strong Maori bloodline. To the casual Texan, she might look like she's from south of the border. Hearing her speak, the average person might think she had an Australian, or worst case, a British English accent. Being from New Zealand, she has zero inhibitions around using colorful language as need be. Scene. My wife is loading 4 bags of mulch onto a cart. An entitled woman suddenly appears. I need you to load some of those onto my cart. I don't work here. I don't care. You people do this all the time. What people? Immigrants. Step off. Entitled woman reeling and gasping. I could have you fired! My wife didn't stick around. She headed off with her trolley of mulch, paid and headed home. No drama. Whoa. Texas woman, she did not hesitate. Wow. OP's wife is pretty baller though.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.